All right, good day, everyone. We are starting quadrilaterals, but before I start today's notes on parallelograms, I did post this paper. If you have a printer, print it out. If you do not have a printer, just make this chart onto a piece of notebook paper. And then as we're going to go along with all the different quadrilaterals, you guys are going to fill this in. You can use this when you take your test. You will have all the properties right here, so it will come in handy. So today, like, we're going to do parallelograms. So at the end, you should go in and fill these in. As you can see, this is my chart, which is filled in. And this is what your guys' chart should look like at the end when we're done with all the quadrilaterals, okay? I think the only one I don't have on here is kites, which if you want, you could write kites here and just add that. All right, so again, this is the quadrilateral property paper, and I did post this. If you have printer, print it out. If not, you just need to make this and then have it ready so you can fill in as we go. This will stay in your pocket that is in your journal. You do need to put it in your table of content too. All right, so let's start some parallelograms. We're going to try to make this a little bit bigger. Oop, now it's not focused. Okay, here we go. So we'll do half and half. Again, if you do have a printer, you can just print this out and write on it. If you do not have a printer, you will just need to copy the notes directly into your journal, okay? So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so today's notes are going to be on parallelograms. As you can see, actually, here's the properties here. So you can just copy these onto your property paper. So a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a closed figure formed by 4 segments intersecting at their endpoint. So you can draw any quadrilateral you want. I'm going to make a trapezoid. Just put that in there like that. A parallelogram. A quadrilateral in which opposite sides are parallel. So try to draw yourself a parallelogram to the best of your ability. Okay, so these opposite sides are parallel. Diagonal, segments joining opposite vertices in a polygon. So everyone just make yourself some kind of quadrilateral here. Oh, that's not a very good one. That looks like a square, but oh well. So this is D1 and this is D2. Okay, so let's go ahead and just look at this first example. Again, if you do not have a printer, you do need to write this all out. Make sure you include the picture. All right, example 1. The parallelogram at the right has 4 vertices. They are. So these are the vertices, M, N, P, Q. Just put a comma in between them. You can put them in any order, doesn't matter. Because you're not naming it, you're just writing the vertices. You name the quadrilateral by 4 letters, but you want to just go in order. So whatever letter you start with, M, N, P, Q, or you can do N, P, Q, M. Just make sure you're not like crisscrossing. So I'm going to just call mine M, N, P, Q. All right. The opposite sides of a parallelogram are parallel. Okay. So they are going to be equal. The opposite angles of parallelogram are equal to. Okay. So we just should put equal. It makes more sense. The consecutive angles, though, are supplementary. Okay. And that's right here. Okay. So they're going to be supplementary, and you guys remember from what we did in the past, that means they're going to add up to 180. Vocab is really important. A lot of stuff builds on the stuff that we already did earlier in the year. Okay. And then the diagonals of the parallelogram, M, N, Q, R, are. So we can just, it will be this one here. If you want, you can draw it in. So one is MP, line segment. And the other is, uh-oh, my line's not very good, NQ. So that's it for example 1. So we're going to move on to the other side. Again, these properties are the properties that you need to know. So this is my blank one. When I get done with these notes, I am going to fill these in right here, because I'm going to put a blank one in my journal, and as we go, I'm going to keep filling it in. So if you want to fill it in now, you can, or you want to just continue with the notes. I'm probably just going to write mine in real quickly. It says opposite sides are parallel. Okay, so I'm just going to write that real quick. Uh-oh. Then it says opposite sides are congruent. I kind of shorten my words a little bit because opposite angles are congruent. Okay. Consecutive angles are supplementary. Oh, ran out of words here. Okay, and diagonals bisect each other. And you guys know what that means, that they're going to be equal. Okay, there you go. So that's done. So I'm not going to do this all the time, but as you go on, just fill this in so you have it. So this is very important. This kind of tells you how to solve the problems. So let's look at example 2. Example 2 says, complete a statement regarding the parallelogram below. So first thing you want to name it. Doesn't matter what letter you start with, just go around in order. So I'm going to do D, A, B, C, but you could have did A, B, C, D. Just make sure you just keep going around. So, all right, now they're saying AB is parallel to what side? Okay, if you look up here, it tells you opposite sides are parallel. So AB is parallel to DC. Don't forget your line segment symbol. Then it's saying DA, line segment, is congruent to, well, if this is DA, it has to be congruent to CB, because it's the opposite side. All right? Then if I'm looking at angle CDA, that's this angle right here, it is congruent to CBA. You see they're opposite? There's this one, and then there's this one. So it has to be CBA. Sometimes you need to draw it. I always make the pictures. I already told you guys I'm a visual person. I think the pictures help a lot. Otherwise, you don't really know what you're looking at. So you should always have the picture on your notes. And then let's look at the last one. DE, this is a little bisector. So you can see they're bisecting. So DE has to be congruent with what other side? DE, it would have to be E what? B. All right? So it has to be EB. And that's all from up here. If you guys need to, you can refer to this. This is why I started this. And you should have these properties right in front of you. So if you're doing your classwork, you might can just look at this and not have to flip through your journal. If you might not need to. You might need to still flip through your journal to look at the actual examples. All right, let's move to example 3 so we can see it. All right, so example 3 does not have a picture, so I'm going to draw it. It says, if ABCD is a parallelogram, the measure of angle A equals x degrees, and the measure of angle D equals 2x minus 3 degrees. Find the value of x. So everyone draw yourself some kind of parallelogram. All right, doesn't matter where you start with the A, just make sure you name it all the way across. Just keep going in the correct order, like that. And there's my picture. Now I'm just going to place the stuff where it says. So they're saying angle A is x. Angle D, this whole thing right here, is 2x minus 3 degrees. And we're looking for the value of x. Okay, well, let me go back up here to these properties, or let me put my property paper where I can see it. Oh, can't see it. Dang it, move it up. It says something about consecutive angles being supplementary. Angle A and D are consecutive. So these two add up to 180. So I can put x plus 2x minus 3 equals 180. And I know how to solve it. Okay? So let's combine our x's. So we got x plus 2x, which is 3x, minus 3 equals 180. Then you want to add 3 to both sides. So we have 3x equals, what is that, 183. Divide 3 out, x turns out to be 61. Since it's just x here, I can put the degree symbol, and that's my answer. Again, I would always draw the pictures. To me, they help. We got just a few more, and then we're done with notes. So again, I am going to stress, this is important. You really should fill out this property paper. It's going to help you a lot. Okay? Because this is the here. So if you're getting stuck on a problem, you should always refer back to this, and then you can go back and look at the different examples. So let's look at example 4. Oh, no, another not picture, so we're going to put the picture here in a second. It says, XYZW is a parallelogram with diagonals, line segment XZ and line segment YW that intersects at point A. If XA equals 3M and ZA equals 5M minus 4, find M. So again, everyone draw yourself another parallelogram. All right. Label it. You remember, wherever you start with X, just keep going around. X, Y, Z, W. You know you need the diagonals, so go ahead and draw those in. And we know they intersect at point A. So right here, is A. So now we can start plugging in some numbers. It says XA is 3M. All right. And it says ZA, so that's this little part right here, is 5M minus 4. Well, let's go back to my properties. Diagonals bisect each other. Okay, what does that mean? Bisecting, that means they have to be equal. Okay, so I just make these two equal to each other. Okay, all right, and so I am going to move the 3M over. Okay, so take it away. So now I have 2M minus 4 equals 0. And then if I want to get 2M by itself, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So 2M equals 4. Divide the 2 out. M turns out just to be 2. All right, that's all you do on that. All right, we got 3 here. We're just going to kind of write on the shape and maybe do a little work underneath here and fill in the stuff that is missing. So everyone, let's look at examples 5, 6, and 7. All right, so if I'm at 5, and don't forget to have this property paper in front of you right here if you need it. So we know we're missing some stuff here. Well, I already know that these are opposite, so if this is 80, this has to also be what? 80. Okay, you guys remember that? Okay. And if this is 80 and these are consecutive angles, this is 80, well, they add up to 180, so this has to be 100. I didn't really show too much work on this one because the numbers are not that big. And then if this is 100, these are opposite. Okay, so that means they're congruent, so this also would be 100. All right? And then we remember right here, this is a linear pair, so if you wanted to do a little math, you could do 180 minus 100, which that means y is also 80. So then now we can just fill in our answers down here. So we know x is 80 degrees. Don't forget your degree symbol. Y is also 80 degrees. And z has to be 100. All right? If you need to, make sure you pause as you're doing these. Make sure you get these pictures written on your notes. You need the pictures. If you just have this, that's not going to help you. You need to have the actual picture too. All right, let's look at 6. Same thing as before. We're going to refer to stuff we learned. Uh-oh, look right here. We learned this before with transversals. So if this is 35, we all know that y also is what? 35. Okay. If this is 120 with the parallelogram property, this angle also has to be what? 20. Uh-oh, but the only one I'm stuck at is here. So what I can do is I know that these two angles, these two, have to add up to 180. So I can just add this up here, or just subtract 180 minus 120 minus what? 35, and I think that gives us 25. So this little one that's missing, that is 25. This does not mean they're the same. I should have put that kind of mark because you guys might think that means it's the same. All right, so that means this angle now is 25. Excuse me, my voice. So now let's fill in our info. So we know x is 20. Y turned out to be 35 degrees, and that's something we learned before in the past. And z turns out to be 120 degrees. Again, if you just write this, that's not going to mean anything. You need to have the picture. All right, let's do the last one up here, and then we just have one more, and then we're done. I'm going to actually have you guys try this one on your own, and then I'll just write the answer. So pause the video, try it, and then you can look at the answer, see if you got the same thing as me. And then I can do this one with you guys in class, work it out. Okay, so let's look at 7. Same thing. If you're stuck, you should always just refer to this. Have this right in front of you, okay? So we're looking at this. I think we've got to do a little bit of math down here, but most of this we can just figure out in the chart. All right, so if this is 30, because of my transversal rules, and I learned before, this also has to be 30, so we got that. All right, I remember linear pairs. You guys remember? So if this is 70, I know they have to add up to 180. This has to be 110. That's the only thing that works. So then if this is 110, I remember vertical angles we learned before. This is also 110. Z is 110. So the only one left is to get this little bit of y. So all I did is, I know a triangle adds up to 180, so I just do 180 minus 110 minus 30 and y turns out to be 40. All right, so let's fill in our information. X is 30, y is 40, and z is 110. All right, and again, you definitely need the picture, because if you just write this, that's not going to mean anything to you. You have to have the picture to refer to. All right, last example. Pause the video. Try to figure this one out on your own. Again, you do need the picture. So pause. Obviously, I'm not going to pause for 5 minutes and then start the video, but I'm going to just want you to pause, do this on your own. Then after you're done, start the video to see if you got the same answers as me. What you should, this one's your turn. In class, I would normally stop. Everyone will work on it. I'll walk around, but can't really do that right now. So you would do this one on your own. Pause the video, and then start it up, and these are the answers everyone should have gotten. So A should have been 15. B should have turned out to be 49. C is 11. If you do see I made a little mistake, just let me know, and I'll fix it. And D is 131. Okay? All right, that's it for now. Again, if you couldn't get this after you tried it on your own, you just let me know in class, and I will work this one out for you. All right? You guys take care. So we're going to start the classworks, and don't forget, this is vital. You need that properties.